Welcome to a world where the thrill of running meets the passion of history, where every stride takes you closer to the past and every breath echoes the whispers of legends. Dive into the unique blend of sports and history, where adrenaline meets enlightenment. Catch the action, feel the pulse, and immerse in the wisdom. This is your journey, this is your stage. Run with the legends, chase the past. Stay tuned, stay inspired, in this exciting fusion of speed and time. What if the American Revolution never happened? This question is more than just a passing curiosity. The American Revolution was a catalyst for change, not just in the 13 colonies, but around the world. It was a rebellion that sparked a global ripple effect, inspiring other nations to fight for their freedom. Its significance in shaping the world as we know it today cannot be overstated. So ponder this. Now let's imagine a world where the American Revolution never took place. Unrest starts with dissatisfaction. What were the colonists dissatisfied with? The American Revolution did not spark out of nowhere. Its roots ran deep, in the soil of discontent, watered by the desire for self-governance. The colonists, who had been living under the rule of Great Britain, yearned for the right to govern themselves. They wanted to make their own laws, set their own taxes, and shape their own future. Then came the British taxes and trade regulations, imposed on the colonists without their consent. The infamous Stamp Act of 1765, the Townshend Acts, the Tea Act, each one a new weight added to the burden of the colonists. They were taxed without representation in the British Parliament. The phrase, "no taxation without representation," became their rallying cry. But these taxes and regulations did not just hit their pockets. They hit at their sense of fairness and justice. They were, after all, British citizens, yet they were treated as second-class citizens in their own land. And then, there was the growing sense of an American identity. The colonists started to see themselves not just as British subjects living in America, but as Americans. They had their own culture, their own way of life, distinct from that of Britain. This American identity was more than just about geography. It was about values, about the belief in freedom, equality, and the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These factors, the desire for self-governance, opposition to British taxes and trade regulations, the growing sense of an American identity, all came together, creating a potent brew of dissatisfaction. They stoked the fires of rebellion in the hearts of the colonists, leading to protests, to acts of defiance, and ultimately, to the outbreak of the American Revolution. The seeds of revolution were sown, fueled by the desire for freedom and self-governance. And thus, the stage was set for one of the most significant events in world history, the American Revolution. The year was 1775, and the first shots of the revolution were fired. At dawn on April 19th, the tranquil towns of Lexington and Concord, Massachusetts, were startled awake by the sounds of battle. British troops, known as Redcoats, sought to disarm the American militia and crush the burgeoning rebellion. The local Minutemen, ordinary farmers and tradesmen, rose in swift response. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fell back, but not before the shot heard round the world was fired. Who pulled the trigger remains a mystery to this day, but its echo marked the start of a revolution. As the Redcoats marched towards Concord, they found the rebels ready and waiting. A fierce firefight ensued, forcing the British to retreat. It was a small victory but a significant one. The colonists had stood up to the might of the British Empire and lived to tell the tale. Thus began a war that would change the course of history. 8 years of conflict, 8 years of struggle, and finally, a resolution. The American Revolution, a testament to the resilience and determination of 13 North American colonies, was nearing its end. The year was 1783, and a new dawn was on the horizon. In the wake of the decisive American victory at the Battle of Yorktown in 1781, negotiations began in earnest. Representatives from Great Britain and the United States convened in Paris, France, to hash out the terms of what would become known as the Treaty of Paris. The discussions were complex, multifaceted, and lengthy. The key points of contention revolved around territory, trade, and the recognition of the United States as an independent nation. After months of intense negotiations, a preliminary agreement was finally reached in November of 1782. The official treaty was signed on September 3, 1783. The British formally recognized the independence of the United States, marking the end of the war and the birth of a new nation. It was a moment of triumph, of relief, and of profound transformation. Boundaries were redrawn, and the United States was granted territory from the Atlantic Ocean to the Mississippi River. The 13 colonies were no longer colonies. They were states, part of a unified nation that would grow and evolve into one of the most influential countries in the world. And so, the United States of America was born. The American Revolution didn't just create a new nation, its impact reverberated across the globe, setting a precedent that would inspire future revolutions and fundamentally alter the course of history. In the wake of this monumental event, the world was left forever changed. Let's consider its influence on other revolutions around the world. The American Revolution was the first successful uprising against a European colonial power. It provided a blueprint for other nations yearning for freedom, for self-determination. The French Revolution, which began a mere 15 years later, was significantly influenced by the American struggle for independence. The ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity found fertile ground in the crucible of the American Revolution, and were later echoed in the streets of Paris. But the influence spread far beyond France. From the Latin American wars of independence in the early 19th century to the decolonization movements of the 20th, the spirit of the American Revolution was a beacon of hope. It emboldened people to challenge the status quo, to fight for their rights and their freedom. And then there's the rise of the United States as a global superpower. The American Revolution gave birth to a nation that would come to wield immense influence on the world stage. From the diplomacy of the 19th century through the world wars of the 20th to the economic and cultural dominance of the present day, the United States has played a central role in shaping the modern world. The United States, born of revolution, crafted its own destiny. It became a bastion of democracy, a land of opportunity, a beacon of hope and freedom to the world. And it all began with the brave men and women who dared to challenge the might of the British Empire, who dared to dream of a better future, who dared to fight for their independence. The American Revolution wasn't just a war, it was a turning point, a catalyst for change. It ignited a spark that set the world ablaze. From the ashes of revolution, a new world power emerged. So, what did we learn today? We delved into the American Revolution, understanding its causes and the pivotal battles. We also explored how this war sparked global changes, inspiring other revolutions. The American Revolution, a pivotal moment in history, shaping the world as we know it today. Immerse in the riveting world where history and politics intertwine. Unearth truths, dispel myths, and challenge your perspectives. Your support fuels this journey through time and thought. Together we delve deeper, learn more, and pave the way for a brighter future. So stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, history isn't just the past, it's the key to our future. Thank you. Your journey with us matters.